If you want to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list in the description box below. Really appreciate any of you who do anything to support this channel, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, donating, checking out my other channel and doing the same. All of it really helps me out. Thank you guys for that. Let's get started with today's messages. So, there could definitely have been a lot of turbulence going on recently, a lot of situations that have allowed you a chance to be able to express some of the emotions that have been swirling around in you for a while now. You may have even felt very much like you were in a completely different space than usual. At this point, you are definitely on this path towards a lot of joy and a lot of fulfillment. A lot of growth has been happening. You've been exposing the shadows inside yourself and the world around you instead of hiding from them. You've been accepting all aspects of yourself a lot more fully and healing from a lot of things that have made you see yourself in a distorted view. Yeah. Their love was conditional. Yours was unconditional, and that's why it cut so deeply. You accepted them, flaws and all, but since you weren't perfect, it was never good enough, no matter how much you gave. Walk away from the things that make you believe that you are not good enough. Tell yourself that you're good enough. They are too, but it doesn't mean that they are good for you. You have the world to give with just the love in your heart. Some people just don't understand that. Open your eyes to those who think that you are enough as you are. Work on you, your goals, self-love, confidence, and balance your life. The universe has some amazing people to bring in as you release the past to make room for this. So there's definitely been a lot of releasing the past, and there's also been a lot more of accepting yourself as you are, accepting others as they are, realizing that the way that people choose to behave has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Only up from there. All the ups and downs in life, all the chaos, all the strife, it doesn't matter what comes my way, my stability is here to stay. No longer worried about it all, my sanity always makes the call. Hard fought for and won. I live my life in the sun. Even on a cloudy day, even when nothing goes my way, negativity takes a back seat. I won't ever miss a beat. Positivity is the new lead, far more to reap from this new seed. Pretty sure I got that too. So, there's definitely been a new way of handling things. You've really been able to surrender more and release more, allowing things to be the way that they are and being okay with things as they are. Really being able to live in the present moment more and enjoy what's going on in front of you instead of being so worried about what has happened in the past or what might be coming in the future. Definitely feeling like there is a new day ahead and new ways of dealing with things. So let's see what else we have for today's messages. You are so calm and serene. Your beauty is so deep. You are far from surface level of beauty and far from shallow as well. You are so flexible and adaptable. I don't think that there's a challenge you couldn't face. You're so optimistic and hopeful, and you have faced treachery and hardship with such grace and integrity. You light up the world around you, and you truly inspire others. Your leadership is always through action. You teach others so much just by being you. Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage Garden. You are so special to me. I'm willing to go where you lead. Lead on, my dear. Love you. I'll see you in a bit. So, I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy. I'll be your hope, I'll be your love, be everything that you need. There could definitely be somebody watching you that really finds what you have to offer to be very beautiful compared to what other people may have thought in the past. What would you love to do? Listen to your heart. Your mind can only take you so far if your heart isn't involved. Unlock your truest desires within and act on them with confidence. LMI, naked. But what if I told you there's nothing I want more in the world than somebody who loves me naked? Someone who never asks for love but knows how to take it. Are you that somebody who can see through all the flaws? So, what are you wanting more than anything? You're wanting somebody to love you naked, scars and all, shadow and light, everything that there is about you for you. Which means unmasking every aspect about you, accepting every aspect about you, seeing them as beautiful. Because once you see them as beautiful, other people start to notice their beauty too. Plus, it gives them a comfortable space to be themselves. And if you want somebody to love you naked, shadows and scars and everything all in one, then you got to be able to love others in that same way as well. And the best way to do that is to remove that judgment over yourself, because when you remove that judgment over yourself, you remove it off of others as well. Anytime we are judging ourselves, we are generally judging other people around us too. People may not believe it and people may not see it, but that's the way it works. When you judge you, you're judging you for the same thing that you're judging the rest of the world for. You just judge yourself more harshly. So you may not even notice or see that you're doing it with the rest of the world too. Reparenting. A purpose and a reason, all in its season. You are made for something great. Others' opinions shouldn't rate. You're amazing as you are. Knowing this will get you far. There's nothing here for me to say. How will you know without a new day? The sun always comes back out. The storm will clear. Sometimes you just need a good pout. Then I want you to stand up straight, set aside all this self-hate. You deserve love in your life. I know you are facing so much strife. If no one is there to give it to you, do what no one else is there to do. Self-soothing has lost its popularity, but see it now with new clarity. This is why we need to be taught, so when we're alone by darkness, we won't be caught. 9/28/21. So, there could definitely be a lot that you've been working on over the last couple years as far as reparenting yourself goes, as far as learning how to self-soothe goes, as far as learning how to love yourself and fill yourself with that confidence and that self-esteem. That self-talk that you've had for yourself is starting to improve. Instead of being things that are like, oh God, that was so stupid. It's more like, wow, that kind of sucked, but you know, it could have happened to anybody. I'm a human and we fuck up sometimes, and that's okay. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can turn this around. Things like that are things that will help you to really start to see yourself in a new way. Instead of jumping down your own throat and constantly yelling at yourself or constantly throwing yourself under the bus, being filled with so much blame, so much self-doubt, so much self-hate. It's time to really start filling your head with something much more positive. Telling yourself how much you appreciate all the things that you're doing. Congratulating yourself on your progress. Patting yourself on the back when you do something that you feel like was really hard to do. Every step that you take forward, you need somebody cheering on your side and supporting you. And sometimes that really does have to be you. The good thing about everybody moving away and not having a whole lot of support is you learn how to find that inside of yourself. And then you're no longer codependent on others to bring you up when you're feeling down. You're able to do that yourself. And you're also able to give others the chance and opportunity to be able to do it themselves sometimes too, instead of feeling like all the burdens of everyone in the world is on your shoulders. It's on their shoulders where it belongs. because everybody has to take care of something at some point by themselves. The Gazelle. You've really been able to have a lot of grace, a lot of dignity, a lot of integrity in any kind of challenge that you've been facing lately. I feel like a lot of you have left behind that defensive state and that need to prove that you're right and that need to prove everyone else wrong and that need to fight and argue about every single thing that comes up. And you've replaced it with just this calm serenity, this stability, this strength, this ability to be able to understand that everybody thinks in their own way and everybody believes in their own way, and that's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with how you believe, and it's nothing against the way that you believe. It's just something different from what you believe. And you definitely have a lot of different beliefs from the world around you as well. A lot of this ability to just be able to be at peace with the way things are and being able to take the high road and handle things with integrity, grace, dignity, stability, strength. All of those things are paying off for you right now. You're definitely being seen as a leader. You're somebody who has gained or is gaining a lot of independence at this moment. Learning how to fly free without having to worry about what anybody else is thinking, what anybody else is saying, what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter because your path has nothing to do with their path. Your path is your path. And nobody has been able to turn you off of your path either. You have a very steady patience and strength that has been pushing you forward, and it may feel like it's crawling at a snail's pace, but it's still crawling forward. Slow and steady at the end of the day is what wins the race. Dawn, the light after darkness. Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. I really enjoy this new deck. It resonates very deeply with me. So after all the darkness, after all the despair, after all the storms, after all the tornadoes and tsunamis and all the crazy things going on, you're really starting to see the light coming back out. And this road to happiness that you're on right now, you're feeling that happiness. It's not something that's coming in the future. It's something that's here right now. You may be stopping to smell the roses a bit more often and really being a lot more patient with yourself and the world around you as well. You're really starting to cultivate a lot of happiness inside of your heart. And this happiness inside of your heart is spreading to your home and your community around you. You're no longer letting anybody else dictate the emotions that you're feeling. You've also been doing a lot of, and if you haven't been doing a lot of it, some protection rituals, energy cleansing, energy healing, energy protection, things like that are really going to help you as well to stoke that fire that is growing inside of you, that passion, that desire, that joy, that optimism, that love and light that has been fueling the way and pushing you forward. You're going to be able to stay in that energy much better if you start doing some sort of routines when it comes to your energy clearing, protection, cleansing, your prayer, your meditation, things like that. It's really good to make some extra time for that right now to make sure that you are in your own energy and that you are not acting off the energy of others instead. Because you're in this leadership position and you don't want to lose that by falling back into allowing your energy to be taken over by the energies around you instead of being ran by your own energy. Which can definitely happen a lot when it comes to healers and empaths and different things like that, because they have a tendency to pick up on the emotions of everyone around them instead of carrying them as your own burden, though. Transmuting that energy is very important. Don't be careless in your connections. Be discerning of who you allow into your energy. You are responsible for the choices you make and what you allow in your life. Know who and what you are and make sure that you aren't accepting less than what you're worth. Don't allow others to continue walking all over you. And so, there's another thing to be said for that as well. Those people that you do want around you, that you do allow into your life that are good to you and things like that, it may not be what everyone else in the world thinks it should be. It may not be what everyone else in the world thinks it should look like. It could be the people that everyone in this world thinks that you should avoid, that you shouldn't go anywhere near, that you shouldn't allow anywhere near you or your space or whatever you've got going on. And a lot of times it is, because people are busy judging people by the cover of their book instead of looking deeper. As I've found over the last 3 years, doing what I've been doing and living how I've been living, the ones who are willing to reach out and give a hand most of the time are not the perfect people of this world that everybody thinks are the saints. It's generally the ones that have been down and out like that before, whether they be addicts or alcoholics, ex-addicts or ex-alcoholics, people who've been to prison, all the people that everybody would tell you to stay away from because they're the scary villains of the world. And yet those scary villains of the world are the ones who will step in when they see something like that going on. They're the ones who will step up to help when you're in a position of need. I talked to my mom for the first time in months the other day, and when she was asking if the people I was around were good people, I was like, well, yeah, to me they are, although the rest of the world would probably question that. She's like, well, it don't matter what the rest of the world thinks. Exactly right. Hidden depths beneath the twilight, buried beneath the ocean blue, looking for the sight of you. Face the shadows, find the light. Let hope fill you at the sight. From the murky depths release the past. Discard the remaining pain at last. Let faith and hope fill you full. Don't disregard the pool. Listen to what the stars say to you. The messages they say are true. Destiny calls for you today to co-create your way. 12/28/19. Be at one with the stillness of night. Connect to your intuition. Every darkness has a light. It's a balance. Sometimes you just have to look deeper to see it. So if you guys want to be able to find that poem again, my link for Dee's story time is in the description box below. If you could like, comment, share, and subscribe over there, that would be awesome. So there's always going to be light and dark. It doesn't matter what happens in this world. There's always going to be a balance. Without the dark, you can't see the light, and vice versa. You can't see the dark without the light. Neither one would be visible without the other. Neither one could thrive or live without the other. Neither one could be a part of our world without the other, because it's a balance. Every single person on this planet, yourself and others, has a light side and a shadow side. And if there's somebody running around going, I don't have a shadow side, I don't have a shadow side, that's the one judging everybody around them. That's the one condemning everyone around them. That's the one thinking they're holier than thou. That's the one with the self-righteous chip on their shoulder. Generally, that's the one treating everybody very despicably, because they feel they're better than everyone. Nobody is better than anyone here. The stone that sits at the top of the mountain's mighty face doesn't think that it's more important than the stones that form the base. And it shouldn't be that way with humans either. We are all made of both light and dark. And when you deny that shadow, it comes out in ways that you don't notice or see. So while somebody is running around saying that they're the best person on earth and they treat everybody with kindness, love, and care, and they've never done anything wrong in their entire life, it's bullshit. Because everybody has. It's bullshit. And the more you're running around saying that, the more you're denying your shadow side, the more it's coming out in nasty ways. In order for you to work through those things and heal that shadow side, and in order for that shadow side to be used in ways that are for the light, you have to accept that shadow side. You have to see it for what it is, and you have to know the damage that it could do if you allowed it to. I know the damage my shadow side could do. My shadow side could be just as awful and horrible as some of the worst ones on this planet if I really allowed it to be, if I let it be. Or if I decided to choose not to look at it at all and to decide it just wasn't there. When you starve a wolf, it lashes out and attacks anything in its path. When you feed it with good things, generally you turn it to your side. Alpha, great song. Mother Destroyer, yeah, one and the same. Pleased to meet ya. Because I'm the wolf, and that's the way it is. Wolves are both good and bad. They have both sides. Just about every wolf there is will take in whatever baby they find. A lot of people will kill babies of other animals. Wolves won't. So we can call wolves evil all day long, but there's a lot of good things about wolves. Awesome. Send payment and your question, and I will get to that question. I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for being here. Unresolved issues need to be discussed. It's time to communicate, and you're being called to lead the way. It's time to clear the rubble and to rebuild your tower with a more firm, solid, and strong foundation. Positive affirmations are important at this time. Rebuilding those connections that have fallen by the wayside, the ones that you may have been feeling afraid of or hurt by, or whatever the case may be in the past, there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming up for you to make peace in these situations, to release, to let go, to forgive so that you can move forward. Free yourself of anxiety. Take a deep breath and make your move. Only you know what you really want to achieve. Believe that it can happen. And you know, there have been some people with some really big dark sides, shadow sides that I've dealt with. Their light sides are fucking amazing and I love them. The bigger the shadow side, the bigger the light side. The bigger the light side, the bigger the shadow side. It really does work that way in a lot of ways, because when people deny those shadow aspects about themselves, or those things that they think to be evil, those things that they fear, those things that they hate, those things that they've been brainwashed and taught to believe are so awful about themselves, they have a tendency to do some really fucked up shit. There is a lot of men in this town who are busy denying that they're gay and screwing around with men behind their wives' backs, because this town is a place where nobody would really accept that. And actually, there's been a lot of the newer generation that's been doing that and fighting against that around here. So it's probably a good thing. But now think about that for a second. How much did they hurt that woman who stood by their side for the last 20 fucking years by lying to her and telling her that they were attracted to her, that they wanted to be with her forever, that they loved her so much, when in all actuality, they knew that they were attracted to men the whole time, but there's no motherfucking way they're ever going to admit that to anybody because they don't want to face the censure of the crowd. Talk about a shadow side that was brought forth by denial and hiding it. You know what? Somebody suggested that book to me at one point. I haven't read it yet, but I did read like an excerpt on it at some point. There's this book that I read a part of the other day that has to do with tracking that somebody had. And wow, I was not expecting that book to be so descriptive and like poetic as it's speaking, but I might actually want to borrow that book because that one was pretty good. And you know, when you think about it too, there's sheep and then there's wolves. Which one's the shepherd? Which one's the leader? It's not the sheep. But wolves generally end up being the shepherd. If dogs are descendants of wolves, then wolves are the ones that are leading the flock and herding the flock, keeping them safe. Things like that, when they're taught to anyway. When they're left to their own devices, they might just scatter that flock and eat them all, one by one. Stunned, feeling different. What is happening? So there could be a lot of things happening right now that are causing you a lot of confusion. It's just like, whoa, what is this? What is happening? This shit's crazy. Who even knows what's going on? And there could be a lot of points where you are just ready to cut things off and fuck this shit. I'm out of here. And you know, if that's how you're feeling about certain situations, then it is time to do just that. And that's another thing there too. You know, when you run around saying, I don't hurt anybody ever, then you have a much harder time cutting people off. Because cutting people off hurts them, whether we like it or not. whether they're being shitheads to us or not, it hurts those people to cut them off. So that's just one way that we do hurt people, whether we want to see it or not. And in order to not destroy ourselves, sometimes it is important to be able to walk away from a situation without feeling guilty, ashamed, or like you did something wrong by stepping back from this situation that was doing no good for you. Rebel with a cause. You wish that I'd stay in the lines, but inside my heart it whines. Do this, do that, it's always your say. Nothing could ever be another way. Conformity is what you wish of me. Authenticity is all you'll see. Being outcast supposed to make me change. You can't handle me at free range. I don't live by the rules you make. I could never be so fake. Alas, you find me here alone, but still my skills I will hone. A sharpened blade for the day when you realize you can't take my voice away. So, you're in this state where you are realizing that no one can take your voice away. The only one who can give your voice or your power away is you. And some of that is done through needing to regulate the emotions of everyone around you. If you're an empath and you resonate with that, a lot of times you're busy trying to regulate everybody's emotions around you, making sure that you're behaving in a certain way so that it doesn't hurt anybody else, making sure that you are taking everyone's feelings and emotions into account with every single move you make and every single action or step you take. When at the end of the day, you're going against yourself to do that. I'm not saying that it isn't a good thing to make sure that you are not intentionally hurting people and things like that, but at the same time, you're gonna hurt people. If you're doing things that you want to do for you, there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be too happy about that. And I'm sure that you have realized that over the last couple years with all this pain and bullshit and drama that you've had to go through fighting for what it is that you want and for what it is that you believe in. But in order to fight for what it is that you want and for what it is that you believe in, you can't take everybody else's thoughts, emotions, feelings, opinions, everything like that into account, because otherwise it leaves you out in the cold doing what everybody else wants you to do instead of doing what you feel like you should be doing. At the end of the day, you sacrifice yourself and you hurt yourself in order to keep from hurting anyone else. And you're not even hurting people in a super harsh way or a super bad way. You're hurting them because they want you to do something that you don't want to do, which is hurting you too. And that's not okay either. So don't be so hard on yourself when you have had to hurt people at points in the past to get your point across or to continue on the path that you feel is best for you. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities coming in for you, a lot of messages coming in for you, a lot of signs and synchronicities. You've worked extremely hard to bring in a lot of new things for yourself, and these things are headed towards you right now. You have really broke out of your shell, and you've learned how to be you, how to be fun-loving, free, fierce, how to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life regardless of what anybody else thinks about that. You have exposed what has been hidden underneath and brought it to the surface. You've really been able to unmask yourself and to show yourself to the world. Personally, I don't feel like anything is bad in moderation. It's when it becomes something that takes over your life that makes it bad. I've talked to a few different alcoholics recently that have a really big problem with people who use meth. And I've talked to a few people who use meth who have a really big problem with people who use alcohol. For the same reasons, pretty much. Because they get a little extra belligerent, because they get a little extra violent, because they get a little extra cruel and cold. When they're addicts, yeah, that happens with any addiction pretty much. And you know, how can you judge another's addiction when you got your own sitting right in front of you? There's plenty of people who don't like the one you're doing. Everybody has their own escape method. Everyone has their own thing that they've fallen into a bit too much. But when it comes to people doing things in moderation, nothing really is too bad in moderation. When you're going out and having a fun night once in a while, there's nothing wrong with that. It's when you fall into it to the point that it's controlling your life, controlling your actions. You've given your power away completely to whatever this is, and it has consumed you. Hi, Rashima. Nice to see you. So there's a lot of opportunities coming your way at this time. There's a lot of room for stability, growth. There may be some teamwork or collaborations that are coming in as well. There's definitely some situations in the past where things have fallen apart and you're getting a new chance to be able to repair and rebuild a lot of things in your life. Trick or treat, mischief and play. Midnight, the most magical hour of all. I forgot I was a bad bitch. Tragic. That song. I really like that song, Cinderella's Dead. You're very welcome, sweetheart. Thank you, too. And no matter how much, say in that song, how she, you convinced me I was your princess, and as long as I didn't say anything, we wouldn't fight and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, who gave their power away? She did. She gave her power away. She could have kept it. She could have fought for it. She could have stood in it. But she felt like if she didn't morph herself in some way, she wasn't going to be good enough for the situation in front of her. Well, you have learned to be yourself regardless. And you have learned that you are beautiful as you are. You don't need anybody else's approval for that. You're coming out of that victimhood mentality and starting to see where you made the choices that got you into what you were in. And now you're not ready to throw your power away again. Now you're ready to keep it and stand in it. And you're ready to be yourself regardless of what anybody else thinks or says. Got your payment, Latoria. Thank you. So, yeah, you're really looking very good at this point, and things are lining up perfectly for you to be able to bring in everything that you've been working on. I feel like you've been working on so much the last couple years, and it's felt like it's been going at a very slow rate. At the end of the day, though, slow and steady is what wins the race. There might have been people who ran as quickly as they could to get there, who played around, who enjoyed themselves, and in between they were running like crazy. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to end up being able to get in there and get that win. In between messages, if anybody wants to be able to purchase a question or donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. If you guys could like, share, comment, subscribe on this channel or my other channel, that's awesome too. Thank you so much for that. Some drinking issues may be a source of pain. What truth needs to be spoken, understood, and released? What parts are being hidden away out of shame and guilt? It is time for sober self-expression. Don't fret over the opinion of others. It kills the true soul. It's time to come out of the mask. Other addictions could be at play too. So, and you know what? Some of the biggest earth angels on this fucking planet are mired in 10 feet of alcohol, okay? There could definitely be somebody here dealing with addiction themselves or dealing with others around them that are having addiction issues too. There's definitely some truth that needs to be spoken. There's a mask still being worn that needs to be pulled off. When it comes to drinking, a lot of the time, people are drinking to be able to express themselves in ways that they don't feel comfortable expressing themselves when they're sober. So whatever you're repressing usually tends to come out when you're drinking. So if somebody's being a complete and total asshole when they're drinking, what do you think they're repressing when they're not? They're thinking, oh, I can't be mean to anybody ever because it's so awful to be this big, mean monster person. And so when they drink, they're like, oh, it's okay to do that now because I can just blame it on the alcohol. When somebody starts bawling their eyes out because they had a few drinks, what do you think they're repressing? They're repressing that urge to cry for some reason, whether it's because they don't feel like they should be crying over the situation because this person hurt them so bad, how could they even fucking love them anyway? Or because crying is a weakness and you shouldn't be crying. I'm not a little bitch. Whatever the case may be. A lot of times when it comes to drinking, that's what's going on, is people are repressing certain things. And this allows them to be able to put it out there with an excuse for why they were behaving that way. You will be going after what you want for you, no longer concerned with the thoughts or opinions of others. Abundance and fertility will be found all around you. You will be living a life that you are passionate about, and you will be able to smell the roses because of it. You are leading others through your example and your inspiration. With great power comes great responsibility, and you take this very seriously. I've always loved that saying, and yes, it came from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That is a very true statement. And sometimes you don't know how big that responsibility is. Sometimes you don't realize just how many balls start rolling into play with certain things going on. So, you're definitely going to be going after the things that you want, regardless of anybody else's opinions or thoughts or ideas of how you should be doing things. Guided intuition. If you invest in this product, will it help you on a professional level? A new home may be in your future. Don't be afraid of these changes. Change is the only constant. If you avoid it or try to stop it, it will still happen, just not so smoothly. So there could definitely be a lot of changes going on for you right now. And right now, it's time to surrender and allow things to unfold naturally. To not worry so much about where it's going and when, but to enjoy what's going on in the moment. Six of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Making sure that there is an equal give and take is going to be something very important in this connection. Making sure to hold back a bit so that you have something for yourself at the end of the day is also going to be important. Make sure that you are taking time to look at things and see if your benefit from it is as great as the benefit of others around you. The Witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. So I feel like right now there is a lot going on with manifesting for you. If you believe that this is going to be a good opportunity and you jump on it, I feel like this opportunity is going to be a very good opportunity for you. But you also need to make sure that at the end of the day, you are protecting your own assets as well when it comes to this situation. You may feel a very strong kinship in this situation, a very strong connection or friendship blossoming in some sort of way. Make sure that you don't allow others to take advantage of that friendship that you're cultivating in this situation. And I feel like you're going to be just fine, that this is definitely going to be something that's going to bring a lot of good into your life. Don't allow fear to manifest things that you don't want manifested. 2, single, no rushing, LOL. Just in general, what kind of love awaits you? Okay. So, right now, you're no longer willing to accept anything that comes your way, which means you're going to be less likely to step into something that isn't for you. Freedom is peace. Free your mind and free your soul. Unbind yourself. That's the goal. Rock the boat, fill the tide. Learning to enjoy the ride. No more thoughts to hold me back. There is nothing that I lack. Simple joy in everything. All of life makes me dance and sing. I am free to be myself. No more time to rust on a shelf. So going out, having fun, enjoying yourself, living that single life, and really being able to embrace it and love it. Having fun, enjoying yourself, and being at peace with it, being at peace with the idea of exploring your options and not jumping into the first thing that comes along. playing, having fun. Your inner child is calling to be released in some sort of way. Being able to shed the old skin and the old cycles and being able to start something in a new way is something that's coming your way as well. Being able to enjoy things and have fun and play and just being able to be you in a lot of ways. You may be learning a lot about certain things as well. You may have a lot more time on your hands right now to learn more, to increase your knowledge in certain areas, in certain understandings. You've really been working very hard and been very dedicated towards being able to break the chains that bind and being able to unlock yourself from whatever cycles have been going on in the past. Let's see. The lamp, remembrance, and the vulture. Remembering who you are. Remembering the light that you bring, the hope that you bring, the joy that you bring. Remembering that you can also gain those from sources around you as well. The thing that just came to mind was System of a Down aerials. We drink from the river and then we put up our walls. So make sure that you're not putting up your walls when it comes to people around you. Thank you, beautiful. And know that nobody else's energy is going to be able to infect you and drag you down. Your energy is strong enough that when you enter a room, that energy can take over the room. It can spread to everyone around you. It can be even more contagious than the negative energy that's in that room. So you have nothing to worry about either when it comes to going out and having fun and enjoying yourself. I really feel like there's a lot of enjoying yourself and having fun. There may also be talking to a fair amount of people online as well. I personally don't like to go that route because they could be anybody. And I've had enough people that have made fake profiles that I don't enjoy that at all. But you could be doing some of that as well. Exactly. Good. And getting out there and just putting your best foot forward and enjoying you. Enjoying you and enjoying the world around you. Sounds like a fun time. I was doing that myself for a little while. There was good things and bad things about it. There's good things and bad things about everything. That one definitely has its own goods and bads. So let's see what else our guides want to talk about today. What is love? Love is someone patient with you. Love is someone who is kind to you for no reason. Love is leaving little gifts and notes for you to find. Love is laughing together. Love feels comfortable and peaceful. Love can surprise you. Love will awaken your spirit. You're welcome, sweetheart. And it is always a polarity. It doesn't matter what point you're in at life. I agree. Love will awaken your spirit. Love makes you feel good. Love compliments you when it's hard to take and when it's easy to take. Are you doing these things for yourself? Love listens. Love appreciates. Love is grateful. Love is understanding, compassionate, and empathetic. Love is free. Love is selfless but self-loving. Love understands and respects your no. What is not love? Love is not carelessness. Love is not callousness or critical. Love is not cold. It does not breadcrumb or ghost. Love is not pain or prison. Love does not cost money, health, or submission. Love cannot be bought. Love is not hate, bitterness, jealousy, competition, or greed. Love is not sex, and sex is not love. Love is not selfish. Love is not cruelty or punishment. Love is not evil. Love is not crass or uncaring. Love is not bullying or aggressive. Love does not always say yes. Love doesn't fill a void. Love is not external or shallow. Love is deep and beautiful and sweet. Love understands that sometimes people are in that energy where they say something stupid and is able to forgive. Ego and pride stops that forgiveness, but not love. Hawk, optimistic, decisive, strategic, and creative. Rebirth, guardianship, fearlessness, protection, memory. Be perceptive about others. Be on guard and don't lose faith in your perceptions, whether others cause doubt or not. You have visions and intuition. The hawk is calling out for you to rely on it. See the situations in front of you from a higher and different perspective. Keep the big picture in focus. It's time to take flight and to reach for the skies. Trust your instincts in making decisions or completing tasks. The universe is helping you to expand your knowledge and learn lessons. The hawk represents messengers of the spiritual realm, and you are being guided through this lesson for the highest good. Trust in that and the nudges that you're receiving. Trust in the karma that you are working your way through right now. Trust in the fact that it is not a punishment, but a chance for you to grow and learn, to expand your horizons and your knowledge. Wouldn't that be great? Stop hating yourself. What they told you was false. You are amazing as you are. Who you love is who you love. What you are attracted to is what you're attracted to. The hate and hurt that you feel is projecting. The right people won't hate you for being you and doing what you enjoy best. Walk away from a place or from places and people that make you feel stuck and small. Life is too short to waste away in a miserable space, slowly suffocating to death, or to throw away the beautiful places, people, and experiences that you could be having if you weren't so worried about what everybody else thought about what you decided to do with your life or where you decided to spend your time. Not everybody would agree with the person you choose to love or with the people you choose to surround yourself with. Not everybody would agree with the thoughts that you have or the ideas that you have or the actions that you take, but that's okay because your life is not everybody else's to live. It's yours to live. And you're the only one who's going to regret something at the end of the day if you don't do what you want to do because of what other people thought or said about it. So make sure that you're doing what you want to do, regardless of their small-minded opinions and doubts. Self-love. You are a diamond shining in the sky. Whether you have tears in your eyes or they are dry. Thank you, beautiful. Sometimes you have to play karma involuntarily. The buck has stopped with you. After messing with you, it's done. Their lives change forever. You have also been going through karmic lessons to learn things as well. How has your life changed? So, there could definitely have been, as there has been in my life the last few years, quite a few people that you have met and who have chosen to do wrong by you in some way. It was their choice. Everyone gets a choice at the end of the day. And when you decided to be open and receptive to this person and give them a chance to make the right choice, you were guided in that too, because that's exactly where you were supposed to be. You were supposed to be giving them that chance to turn things around and start things over. And when they chose the side of, nope, I'm going to do the same shit I've been doing for years, they got fucking buried. Some of them will climb their way out, some of them won't. But that's the way it works sometimes. And there's nothing to feel bad about in what they are going through because they made their choices to get there. What? No, I haven't. Your headphones are right there, though.
Yeah, I can't find my phone though. It's either in little pieces.
Did you say your phone's in little pieces?
Yeah, because I took the battery and shit out of it.
Okay.
It wouldn't charge. I can't find a charger.
Arm yourself against a worldly view. What truly feels right to you. In your heart, you will find the answers that you seek in your mind. Don't overthink it. Don't give in. Stand strong in the position you're in. If you have something to say, say it. Don't worry what others will think. So, if you've been looking at things through the eyes of everyone else around you instead of your own eyes, it's time to really open your eyes and do what you feel is right in the situations you're dealing with and not what everybody else thinks you should be doing.
Keep an eye out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Love you.
A little bit.
All right. Pride goeth before a fall. Hanging on to pride, that's not a very fun ride. Holding it tight, does it hold you right? Say sorry to the ones that you love. Bring peace and be the dove. Transformation calls you now. Be humble and take a bow. It's amazing the strength you gain when you allow the glow of cleansing rain. Weakness is not what sorry entails. Strength is the one who can adjust his sails. Admit you took the wrong course. You bought the cart disguised as the horse. Played the part for all around. Inside your truth it can be found. Don't allow the war to go on. It's time to rise above a pawn. So there could have been situations that you ended as well, where you actually were feeling like there was a chance to be able to redeem things or bring things back together or rise things back up or whatever the case may be. You were feeling like there was a chance and it was worth taking. You were feeling that people could really come out of whatever was going on. And you may have walked away from the situation simply because people told you that there's no way it could ever work out and that you were crazy for thinking that, or that stupid or naive or whatever the case may be of what you might have been feeling at the time. And it could have even been, I'm right and you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's the way it is, period, bottom line. But now is the time to go into these situations with an open heart and an open mind to communicate what you're really feeling, thinking, believing in, to express those things instead of holding them back. Graveyard, unnecessary fear, rest in peace. Spider, community and web weaving. Owl, wise seeing and wise action. So, you've been fearing things in a very unnecessary way. You've been dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of nervousness, a lot of unsureness. Maybe even feeling like there's so many things hidden from you that you can't even begin to uncover them in some sort of way. You could have even been afraid of what was going on in the community around you. You're very protected in the community that you are in. You have built something very strong, stable, sturdy, solid. There's a lot of things that are going to be being caught in your web. In this web that has been built. You may even feel, some of you may even feel like you are getting ready to get caught in a web of some sort. But I feel like you know exactly what you're doing, exactly where you're going, and how to get there. But it's going to take releasing that fear and that doubt and allowing yourself to take that leap of faith. Yes, you can still ask a question. My Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list are in the description box below. A Cash App and PayPal, sorry. Throw your payment in there and then ask your question. Today's a weird day. Anyway, so let's see. We got the Queen of Cups. We got the Two of Pentacles. And we got the 10 of Cups. There is somewhere that you feel like you would be extremely happy. You cultivate a lot of happiness inside yourself and in the world around you as well. There's a lot of happiness right in front of you, but it's going to take you being open to it, being receptive to it, being vulnerable again. You may have hidden yourself away out of fear. You may have blocked off your heart out of fear. You may have stopped giving to people with the loving kindness, joy, compassion, empathy, understanding, and beauty that is inside of you. You could have even been busy with so many different things. You could have been trying to distract yourself. You could have been trying to pull your attention away from whatever was in front of you because of your fear or your worry, because of your ideas that people may betray you or hurt you, because of the idea that awesome, thank you so much. What are your questions? But there's a lot of happiness right in front of you. It's just around the corner. All it's going to take is for you to lower your guard. Housey Castle is coming to mind right now. Already choking on my pride, so there's no use crying about it. There is use crying about it. Crying is healing. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to cleanse that out. Allow yourself to share the fears that you have with other people around you. There's another song that's been coming up the last couple days. Ollie, I think, is the singer. I need somebody to love me, need somebody to care, need somebody to be honest with me and tell me that they're scared. Be honest with people around you about what your fears are and how you're feeling. Because tomorrow, if tomorrow comes and you haven't done that and the whole world ended, what would you regret about today? Tomorrow Never Comes is a poem by Norma McCarrick, too. Great poem. And basically it talks about, if I knew it would be the last time, there's so many different things that I would have done. If this was the last time you were going to see whatever person is standing in front of you, what would you say to them? If they were getting ready to kick the bucket and were going to die in an hour, what would you be saying to this person? Don't let fear get in the way and stop you from expressing what you need to express to the people around you that you love and care about. Because pride goes before a fall. And once again, between questions, if anybody wanted to be able to purchase a question or wanted to be able to donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list in the description box below. And it would be awesome if you guys could like, share, comment, subscribe on this channel or my other one. You can find a link for that in the description box too. It's called StoryTime. And that's where all the poems from today's reading are going to be located. And as soon as you ask your questions, I will answer those. Time to open up. Vulnerability is the key. Open yourself for all to see. Time to shine your blinding light. Time to leave behind the fight. Moving forward, it's time to see who is really there for me. I've always felt alone and lost. Power seemed to come at a cost. Now there will be others there. Time to drop that wall and share. Moving forward, looking back, there is nothing that I lack. So once again, with dropping that wall, being able to open yourself up and bare yourself to the world, being able to be that vulnerable, beautiful person that you are underneath the shell that you have stuck around yourself for protection is very important at this time, because that's how you're going to be able to cultivate these new connections or bring back together these old connections that bring a lot of happiness, joy, love, and light into your life. Some of them you may have lost during a time when you were losing a lot of other connections. And those people may not have even been involved in some of the nasty things that were going on to you. But at that time, you couldn't trust anyone. What is currently happening on your spiritual journey? Let's see. Katerina. Zebra, swan, dragonfly. Things may be up and down right now. Remain peaceful and balanced. Don't become frustrated. You are a visionary able to navigate effectively throughout the turmoil because you see things differently. You are very connected to your intuition and insight at this time. You are very different, an individual who likes freedom and will do anything to obtain it. Don't let others stand in your way. You always get back up. Obstacles are stepping stones in the right direction. There may be a need for balance and order in your life. Take pride in your accomplishments, but remain humble as well. Glory and joyfulness are coming into your life. Happiness and good finances are coming. Prosperity and luck are on your side. Be pure and go with the flow. Enjoy the company of others. Grace, beauty, and dignity are qualities that you possess, and this will help you to release any worries or anxieties. Transformation, change, renewal, rebirth, all those are coming, and you may be feeling unstable or insecure. Stand up for yourself and for your beliefs. A second chance may come. Don't let jealousy or attachment get in the way. So, you may be having a lot of dreams right now that are trying to call out to you and lead you down a certain path as well. And if anybody is interested in dream interpretations, I do offer those in my services as well. There's a lot going on right now, and there may be some connections coming together. You need to work on being able to let go, on being able to live and let live, on being able to allow others to be free in a connection with you, and allowing yourself to be free as well in that connection. Being able to stand up for yourself, being able to say what you need, being able to express how you feel, being able to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, and being able to allow others the same freedom is something that's very important right now. And that's a lot of what you're learning through what you're going through, is how to surrender and release. Storm clouds are brewing. A test is coming. Have you learned yet to dance in the rain? There's no time like the present. Your attitude is what you make it. You can't control what happens, only how you respond to it. Deal with your emotions and try to focus on the good things. The stars in the night sky that remind you the light isn't gone. Hope is found within. So, when you're feeling dark or alone or sad or upset about things, find something good around you to be grateful for and to focus on. Something that lifts you up and makes you feel good about yourself and your life. There's been a lot of times through the last couple years where it's been like the worst day possible ever, you know? And a couple winters ago, I had no heat. I had no light. It was just me and my dogs and my blankets. And I had my RV. So, a lot of the things that I was grateful for was at least I wasn't sleeping on a fucking sidewalk. Because I could have been sleeping on a sidewalk. Or, you know, at least I have my dogs with me, because not everybody has two such amazing friends in this world. And they are my family. Remember to focus on those things that bring you joy and that lift you up when it's the darkest. And it doesn't matter how dark it gets, you can always find a light somewhere. So we got Kelly, Melanie, Sarah, Reaching, Craven, Liz, David, Darren, Garcia, Brian, Authority, Jin, Reason, Susie. So right now you could actually be facing a lot of temptations to be able to throw it all away too. You could end up dealing with a lot of despair, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of hardship in the near future. And you could have a lot of temptations right in front of you as ways to be able to escape it, numb it, or throw it all away. And being able to tap into your heart, being able to tap into that beauty, that joy, that love inside of you, being able to be lighthearted about everything, and being able to see the good parts of everything is going to be very important at this time. Death, the Lovers. These transformations that you're going through right now are to help pull you out of any kind of codependent energy that you've had in the past. It's to help be able to cut the ties that bind and break those chains that keep you stuck from moving forward. You're coming into a much more independence-based energy, an energy of being able to work with people in a very interdependent way. There may be a lot of moves, transformations, changes that are on the horizon that are really going to lift you up and bring you a lot of joy. But it's going to take a lot to get there as well. And remembering that we are not meant to know everything along the way is going to be extremely helpful for you too, because we are not meant to know everything. If we knew everything, we wouldn't be half the places that the universe wanted us to be, because we would be wanting to avoid the pain or the hurt or the whatever else that could be coming with that situation. And a lot of times we wouldn't be very focused on the good things that are coming from that situation. There's a lot of good things coming from the situations that you're going into right now. A couple years ago, I asked to be a better healer than I was at that point, and I wanted to be able to do it on a wider scale for more people. And guess what? I went through hell in a fucking handbasket the last couple years. Because in order to learn those things and gain wisdom for those things so that I can help people through those things themselves, I had to go through those things. So there's been a lot of extra things I've gone through over the last couple years, but the good part about those things is I gained a lot to be able to help others with. And I gained a lot within myself to be able to stand stronger on my own 2 feet and to be more interdependent myself as well. Vampire, emotional intelligence. It's amazing how people can see certain things and not see that they have a shadow side and a light side. Emotional intelligence is fucking amazing to have. Being able to read people, being able to pick up on their emotions, being able to hone in on what they're feeling, what they're going through, being able to empathize, being able to sympathize, all those kinds of things are fucking amazing. Being able to sit down with a child and get down on their level and talk to them and have them actually open up to you and want to be around you and want to discuss things with you, that is a form of emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence as well can be used in a very dark side too. It can be used to pick up on everybody's everything and to exploit it and use it against them. You may actually be having some fears regarding people who have a high emotional intelligence or who are very charismatic, because charismatic people also have the ability to manipulate, because it's the same exact thing. One is just thought of as a light side and one is thought of as a shadow side. And so you could be having some issues at points dealing with people who are on that level, but that level is where you are meant to be. So remember that and try not to judge people before they have done anything to you that other people in the past may have done, which is causing you to feel like these people are untrustworthy when these people have never done anything to you. Everyone gets a chance to make that choice when it comes down to it. And if you wouldn't make the choice to exploit and use people and things like that, then there are other people who wouldn't too. 2, guidance from your spirit guides about your career. Playfulness and joy finds you where once annoyance took hold. You are ready to open back up. Do it in a balanced way. You are going to be enjoying life and all eyes will be on you as you do. Many options and doors will be opening up due to this energetic shift. So this shift that is happening is not only going to be affecting your love life, your friendships, your family life, your relationships, it's also going to be affecting your career life quite a bit as well. Because where once you might have accepted minimal pay and minimal perks and minimal everything, you're no longer going to be accepting that, because you're going to start to see your worth better. You're going to start to see your value better, and you're going to start putting your foot down and telling people that, look, hey, I do a lot for this company or I do a lot for this place and I deserve a lot more than what I'm getting. And if I'm not going to get that, then I'm going to go somewhere else because somebody else will appreciate me where you won't. There's going to be a lot of opportunities and a lot of doors opening up for you in the near future. Yeah, you're going to be really feeling at the top of your game and like nothing can stop you. You're going to be looking good, feeling good, expressing yourself in a very loud and proud way. You're going to be feeling very bold and very daring. There could be a fear of failure or a something that broke apart in the past that is causing you to feel like there's no way to manifest what you want. But regardless of this pain or these obstacles that you have gone through and these things that you have faced, you're really starting to delve into the idea of what it is that you truly want and where it is that you truly want to go. If you're feeling very in and out, hot and cold, on and off about certain situations or experiences, ask yourself why. Why is it that I'm questioning whether or not this would be a good place for me? Ask yourself if this is something you truly want. If it isn't, then it's time to move towards something you do truly want. You're going to be manifesting a lot of opportunities your way. You're going to be manifesting a lot of speed and forward movement. A lot of inspiration, passion, and drive is going to be filling you, and you're going to be feeling like you can really accomplish anything that you want to accomplish, where in the past you may have been feeling very stuck or held back by certain things. Skull of darkness, blind spots, the cosmic egg, and the snake. So, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of blind spots you're actually dealing with. I feel like it more has to do with being afraid that there's things that you're missing and unsure of whether or not things are going to pan out the way that you're wanting them to. There's a lot of light inside of you. There's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of new ideas. There's a lot of experiences that you're meant to have and that you're meant to go after. But a lot of what it's going to require is shedding the past and letting it go, letting it die out, letting it be what it was, and allowing the new to come in. Because you may be having a really hard time allowing new things to come in and feeling like the energy can shift and change in ways that are going to be good for you and your life. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you sharing that with me. Everything's coming full circle, and you're going to be feeling like you're back at the beginning in some sort of way. But you're back at the beginning with more intelligence, wisdom, and knowledge than you've had before in these experiences. A lot more strength and stability. And you're going to succeed in going down this path that you feel very inspired and drawn to. But it's going to require you to pull back from the world a little bit and take some time for you so that you can really see what it is that you want to do without everybody else's energy clouding the situation. So that is what I have for that. Let's see what other messages our guides have for us today. Thank you, by the way. Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. Remember who you are. You are a warrior with deep inner strength and power. Warrior by Beth Crowley. Great song. Look at everything that you have been through from a different perspective. Without every bit of it, who would you be exactly? What would you know? What would you have had to overcome to be able to see your strength and work on your weaknesses? You are someone who has always cared deeply about learning and growing from every experience. So pat yourself on the back and tell yourself, job well done, making it to now, stronger, smarter, and more knowing than ever before. Don't hate your past. That poison affects your presence or your present. So don't hate your past. Don't hate the things that you've had to go through. Don't hate the experiences you've had, the pain you've endured, even the abuse that has been thrown your way. When you hate all of those things, you hate parts of you. Because those are parts of you. Those became parts of you the moment that you went through those experiences. Those shaped you, formed you, caused you to be who you are. Without those things, you wouldn't be you. I wouldn't be me. As I was talking about a few minutes ago with the last few years and how rough everything was, it took me a minute to realize that that was what I asked for. Because in essence, it was. I asked to be able to do what I was doing in a better way, which means I had to go through some more experiences to get to a place where I could be there for more people in that way. Throw the game to get the win. Winning and losing is all that matters. When you do that, your love batters. Set your pride aside, your heart now confide. No more lies across your lips, poison from your tongue drips. Ease the pain of your pride, tell the truth of what you lied. So, there could be a situation or a scenario where you may have lied about how you were feeling or what you wanted in the situation because you didn't want anybody to know how you were feeling or what you wanted. You didn't want anybody to know that you still cared for them, even though they shit all over you, whatever the case may be. When you're in competition all the time with the people that you love around you, it fucks everything up. It's time to set your pride aside, and it's time to no longer allow the poison of hate and despair and hurt and pain to be dripping from your lips. It's time to see the beauty of things and to start expressing the beauty that you see within yourself and the world around you. Now, this one is a song that I wrote when I was 15. Get a life and stay out of mine. Get a life and stay out of mine. It's not you, but it's me. Everywhere I go, it's you I see. I think about you all the time. I just thought that I could use a rhyme. So get a life and stay out of mine. Get a life and stay out of mine. So, if there's somebody that you have been thinking about constantly, consistently, poring over everything going on with them, wondering what they're doing, where they're going, who they're with, how their day was, whatever the case may be, and this is somebody that you're not even connected to you anymore, this is not something they're doing. This is something inside of you. It's not you, but it's me. Everywhere I go, it's you I see. I think about you all the time. I just thought that I could use a rhyme. So, expressing yourself in a creative outlet is definitely going to be something that's going to help. This could be somebody who ghosted. This could be somebody who breadcrumbed. This could be somebody that just rejected you, and whatever the case may be. You're seeking your validation outside yourself from this person instead of finding it inside of you. Instead of allowing things to fall away that weren't meant for you, you're holding on to them very tightly. And it's time to see things from a different view. Time to take your power back and to know that you can change this at any time you choose to. But what it's going to require is knowing that with or without this person, you are amazing. You don't need this person to validate anything that is you or anything that you're doing. You don't need this person to verify that somehow you matter in some sort of way. Somehow my heater got turned all the way up. I don't even know how that happened, but I was wondering why it was getting hot in here. I'm so glad to take action on. You have worked hard. You have learned. You have grown. You have put a lot of time, effort, and energy into cultivating the wisdom, knowledge, and experience necessary to be able to handle what is right in front of you. You know what you want, and it's time to go after it. You have a mingling of inspiration, passion, drive, motivation, ambition. You are ready to go after what it is that you want, and it's time to do just that. Your fears may be holding you back in some sort of way, but it's time to face those fears, and it's time to overcome them because you have it within you to be able to do just that. Death. The eternal cycle begins here. When it comes to death, some people think of death as a bad thing. Death is just as important as life is. Every death that happens leaves just as big of an impact as every birth that happens. It's not the end of the world when a death happens. It's just a transformation. You may even be fearing for your life in some sort of way if you go after what it is that you want. But it's time to put those fears to rest. If I was afraid for my life, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. At all. And you got to have more faith than fear. More faith in what your path is, what your purpose is, and what you're here to accomplish. A faith in knowing that when it's your time, it's your time. And it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to be able to stop it. Just like when it isn't your time. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. You're not going to be able to make it your time now. I believe even when people commit suicide, that was their time. That was when they were meant to go, and that's how they were meant to go. So, there's definitely something you've been working on, and you have been overcoming obstacle left and right. Putting your fears into some sort of creative expression is also a very beneficial way to be able to get them out as well, and to be able to express them. There's a lot of success and recognition coming your way. You may even be afraid of being in the spotlight that much. Maybe you have been very invisible for the majority of your life, and it may be very hard having all of those eyes on you. There's a song in particular, The Dope Game, I think is what it's called. But I always feel like somebody's watching me. And it's a specific one that has to do with like being very paranoid about everybody watching you constantly, and being in that certain trade or that certain position or whatever it may be is somewhere where there may be a lot of eyes on you all the time. And you're going to have to overcome a lot of that paranoia in order to be able to do what you're doing on this path that you have chosen to take. And it is something that you are wanting very much so. You have fought very hard for it, and it may be getting close to coming true. But there may be a block still blocking you, and that block is your fears about allowing yourself to be seen in some sort of way, and what people are going to see as well, what people are going to think. People who don't know you deep down don't even know you, so it doesn't matter what any of them are thinking about it. You've done a lot of healing. You've done a lot of emotional growth as well. And you leave a lot of beauty in your path, a lot of abundance, a lot of fertility, a lot of growth. You leave a lot of inspiration in your path, a lot of nourishment and nutrition for others behind you that are following. There is a lot that goes into this than just your world and what it impacts. It impacts the entire world around you as you break free from these chains and as you step more fully into your power and what it is that you want in life and creating that. Your beauty lies deep within you, and it's beautiful. It's a force to be reckoned with, and a fire that can't be tamed. So, let's see what else our guides want to talk about today. Sometimes the way to heal things or change them requires doing things that make us or others feel uncomfortable or causes conflict in some sort of way. The best changes have always been made through rocking the boat. Don't be afraid to rock that boat. So, I've told somebody that at some point in the past. I was like, I know you're afraid of arguing, but arguing is a normal part of life. If it isn't for fucking conflicts, nothing ever changes. You have to be able to express what you need to express. So if you want things to change and you want things to be different than they are now, you can't hide your head under a rock because that's not going to do anything about it. But what does do something about it is voicing that, expressing that, putting it out there, fighting for it. And yeah, that does create conflict. But conflict is not always a bad thing. Just like everything else, it has a shadow side and it has a light side. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, we don't want anything like the 60s again. The 60s was awful and horrible and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? If it wasn't for the 60s, we'd be living in a very different world today, I'll tell you that. If it wasn't for those people who got out there and protested, if it wasn't for those people who fought for what they believed in, if it wasn't for those people who stood up for their rights, at whatever cost there might have been, including the possibility of death. There was a lot of possibility of death at that point in time, at the hands of those who were supposed to protect you. If it wasn't for those people, we'd be living in a very different world. And if it wasn't for the people this day and age that are doing the same thing, our grandkids would be living in the same world we're living in instead of a new and improved one. Fish. Rebirth, good luck, good health, creativity, feelings, fertility, independence, adaptable, instinctive. There may be a situation that you're facing that mirrors your emotions and subtle awareness to influence you to move forward. Happiness, intelligence, strength, and endurance are gifts that are brought to you by the spirit animal on your journey. You are being shown a deep awareness of the unconscious or the higher self. Don't fight. Go with the flow and allow yourself to be guided forward. Knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and prophecy are symbols of fish in ancient Celtic traditions. Somebody may have been dreaming about fish a lot lately. Transformation is at your door, a chance to go deeper within. Faith and trust in the abundance that comes from allowing instead of trying to control right now. Liberation from the confines of societal norms or mass consciousness. Remember that you are free to swim, when, and where you wish. You have an immense determination, but remain flexible and adaptable sometimes. It's good to swim against the current. Know when it's necessary to do that and when it's necessary to go with the flow. So it's time to start accepting both your masculine and your feminine energies, to bring them into balance, to know when it's time to act and to know when it's time to be passive. And also know that in figuring out how to let go and surrender and figuring out how and when to take charge and push forward, it's really going to change a lot of things in your life. You have the ability to be able to bring a lot of changes to the world around you. You have a lot of strength within you, a lot of endurance within you. You're really being very liberated from the confines of societal norms or mass consciousness. The beliefs of the whole are not what's running you right now. The beliefs from your heart that you're feeling are true for you is what is leading you forward. And sometimes the mass consciousness shifts and changes as people step up to suggest new thoughts or ideas. And that's where you're at, is at a point of stepping up to express these things so that people can see things in a new way from a new perspective or a new understanding. No one is perfect, but all are amazing. It's all in how we use our gifts. Every gift that we have can be twisted, used, and abused in a shadow side manner. And when we're hurt or in pain, they are. Consciously or unconsciously, they are. So all those fears that you have of others who have gifts that are similar to you and how they may use them in a dark side manner, the only reason you even know that dark side is because it's within yourself. You can't see it outside of you unless you see it in you. So remember that when dealing with other people, that could be you too. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And those who close the door on the least of me close the door on me. I may not be Christian, but there are good lessons in that book. There's good lessons in every book that you read, every story that you hear. I might judge others too harshly at points because of my self-judgment. Look within to heal without, or internal for external. It's time to look at and acknowledge the shadow inside myself. Unconditional love is knowing that we have both, every single one of us, but still being able to love. In doing so, it doesn't control us anymore. We see our own triggers and what can come of them. We can also decide where we direct those gifts and what intentions they work towards. Every gift has a curse side. Manipulation can also be seen as charisma. One sounds awful and the other good, but both are the same thing. Then again, some people had a lot of charisma these days, and it's just classified as manipulation. But when acknowledged and healed and forgiven, it can be used in amazing ways for really good things and amazing changes in this world. But only if you can decide to cast away the guilt over those not so good times instead of trying to throw it out the window. So, if there have been times where you have manipulated, twisted, or abused your power in some sort of way, you may be denying that you even have it or that it even exists. You may not be using it in ways that you could use it that could benefit yourself and the world around you. Because you may be feeling guilty of those things, or you may be feeling ashamed of those things, or like those things are evil. Or you may have even dealt with other people who have used those things in an evil way, which caused you to throw your gifts away instead of cultivating them in a way that can be used in a good way. My dad was one of the only people who actually supported me doing this because I'm a good hustler and a good actor. And yeah, that did make me feel a little bit bad about it at first, because I'm not trying to be an actress, Dad. And I'm not trying to be a hustler. There's good aspects of a hustler just like there's bad aspects. There's good aspects of an actress just like there's bad aspects. But either way, when you throw out those pieces of yourself because of the way others may feel about them or because of the way that you have been bred to feel about them, it tends to fuck things up in your world. Yeah, if you refuse to see those things inside yourself, they end up coming out in some unforeseen way and really causing a lot of damage. Horton hears a who is what this is reminding me of right now. And as Horton was hearing that who, nobody else in the world could hear that who and thought that he was fucking nuts, but he wasn't. He probably thought his gift was a curse at points too. Tried to run away from it. But in doing so, he caused a lot of damage instead of just in believing what he knew to be true, regardless of what anybody else thought. And he did do that at one point too. Jen, Porter, Carter, Mortimer. Okay, so what just popped in my mind was, hey there, Dedgar, I think it's plain to see. I bought a cardboard casket, now the worms have eaten me. It's from a Halloween episode of Roseanne. Lacey, Casey, Courtney, Gypsy, Getaway, Showstopper, Maze, Fiesta, Funny, Freedom, What is it that you want to do more than anything in this world? What is calling to your soul? What is pulling you in, and what is making you feel whole? Those things are the things that are going to help you to be able to heal going forward. It's going to help you be able to open up more to who you are and what you want out of life. What are those things? Tips for taming your temper. Think before you speak. It's easy to say what you will regret later on. Take a few moments to collect your thoughts before saying anything. Allow others involved to do the same thing. Once calm, express your anger. As soon as you have a clear thinking process, express your frustrations in an assertive but non-confrontational way. State your concerns and needs clearly and directly without hurting others or trying to control them. That's the only time ever that I've had anybody take notes when they were dealing with me. Okay, so this one is also something that was written when I was 15, and I don't necessarily feel this way anymore, but sometimes we can all feel this way, whether we're a man or a woman. Guys are all the same, or is it just me? Am I insane? Or can you see? Do you believe or do you just receive? Because a lot of girls just take the worlds and never learn all the facts. Mostly they just get dumped in the trash and incinerated into ash. Not even a call, so how can you stand tall? They say you're still friends, but is that how it ends? You could be extremely pissed off about situations that you have dealt with where people have claimed to be your friends, but really they were just wanting something else from you. And when they didn't get it, they decided that whatever they were getting wasn't worth it and walked away. Just because they decided that doesn't mean you have to decide that. It doesn't mean you have to turn against yourself. You are definitely worthy of the love that you're seeking. You're worthy of the time, the care, the commitment, the beauty that you put out there. Are you putting that beauty out there, or are you in a state of anger? Because that state of anger isn't going to call anything good in. I've had a fair amount of that myself in my life. I actually had one recently that, he got put in the dad position. Sorry, but that's the way I feel about it. And he basically acted like he could handle that, like he was okay with it, like he respected it, like, it didn't bother him at all. But when it came down to it, when I got into a relationship with somebody, he disappeared because he was wanting a relationship with me. And since he wasn't getting the relationship with me, which he already knew he wasn't going to be getting because I already told him, I was very honest, very straightforward, nothing to be upset about. And on my end, I pretty much knew that was coming. So nothing to be upset about over here either, because I knew that he was still feeling that way, regardless of whether or not I felt that way. He was. Believe in yourself. Don't allow others to bring you down or convince you that you are not worthy. Don't allow others to become the voice inside of your head to throw you off your path. Don't allow the distractions to come in. Can't Stop Me by Minio is coming to my, or Can't Stop Me by, not by Minio. His name is Minio, but, can't remember. I'm my own worst enemy, and even I can't stop me. So I know that you can't stop me. We're always going to be our own worst enemy. It doesn't matter what anybody else does, says, or how they behave, or how they act, or their opinions, or their thoughts, or anything else. Because at the end of the day, the only one who can get inside of our head is us. They have the power that we give them. And if we don't give them that power, there's a drought. And they dehydrate till they disappear. You have an inner beauty that shines so bright. Stop hiding it. It's time to shine. As you do, you bring the world to life around you. Revel in that light. Bask in it. Feel it and be grateful for it. With great power comes great responsibility, so use it wisely. Don't allow yourself to be cast into shame and despair by others. Instead, lift them up out of theirs. Don't allow them to get under your skin. Instead, love the skin that you're in. You can handle the shade thrown your way because you are the sun. Lead the way towards the light with confidence and assurance in your skills because they are far more honed than you believe or give yourself credit for. Start seeing the real you instead of the projected image. People will always think what they are going to think. It doesn't have to affect your thoughts. Are you a sheep or a wolf? A wolf is more of the shepherd after all, and the shepherd is the teacher. I love the fact that this came out today because it touched on a lot of points throughout the entire reading. So if you haven't watched the whole thing, you might want to go back and watch some of the other parts as well, because this is tapping into a lot of that. And when it comes to, say, there's been experiences that I've had a lot of times where I'll go out to have a good time and I get down there and, there's this guy one night. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Would you like to come over and have a drink with me? My son and his wife are here tonight, and you can meet them." And I was like, "Okay, awesome. Sounds good." And so I go over there to have a drink with them. Meet his son and his wife, and then we go down to the other bar. And everybody got separated, and we're going back the other way, or at least I am, and his son and his wife are up ahead a few steps, and they're going back the other way too, but I don't know where he went. And so all of a sudden they start arguing, and I'm like, oh shit, I know what's coming. And I'm kind of slowing down a little bit. I'm like, fuck, really? I don't want to have to deal with this tonight. It's supposed to be my fun night. And all of a sudden he turns around and he's like, "I did not fuck her. Why don't you ask her? Because she's standing right there." And she's like, "Oh no, I didn't mean her, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh really? Because I didn't see anybody else with blue hair in there. That's the only person I saw with blue hair, and you said she had blue hair." And I was like, I'm not fucking him. I met him 5 minutes ago, literally. His dad bought me a drink. Come on now. And I was just going to go home. They started taking off, and I was just going to go home. I was like, fuck this shit. I don't need this shit. I don't want to do this shit tonight. And I was kind of upset about it. And all of a sudden his dad pops up and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, whoa, what's wrong?" And so I told him what was going on, and he's like, "That's not you though, that's her. That doesn't have anything to do with you. That has to do with how she feels about herself." I was like, "I know. Thank you for the reminder, because I probably needed it right this moment." But it still sucks. It sucks that I can't go anywhere without shit like that happening constantly. Every time I fucking go anywhere. It sucks. So I ended up, he talked me into coming back and having a drink at his house. And his son and his wife are next door. And they started getting loud with their fight and shit. I ended up sitting there talking to them for like 2.5 hours to help them work shit out and find peace that night. And then after all that, his dad tried to get a home run, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that way. You should have known that anyway. I've already told you that before. That ain't happening tonight." And I left. That's what it means by not being afraid to shine your light, though, because the shade being thrown your way is not going to be able to have an impact. You know at this point that when people are having thoughts like that or feelings like that, it has to do with them. It doesn't have so much to do with you. It has more to do with them and what they're going through and how they feel about themselves. Justice, judgment, and the Five of Swords. So, there could be a lot of competition around you. There could be a lot of jealousy, bitterness, envy. There could be a lot of people that are really upset that you're on top of your game and you're doing good, you're feeling good, you're expressing yourself, you're loud and proud, and you're taking the high road, letting the past go and just allowing yourself the freedom to explore the future. All the hard work that you have put in is paying off. Do not allow your win and your good moments to be destroyed by the people around you who are in that negative energy. There have been people who have sat and given me fucking backhanded compliments or just straight up said some really fucked up shit to me, and right afterwards I'm complimenting them. And it shifts and changes their energy to where they want to be doing the same thing and they want to be acting in the same way. They want to be feeling good too, because they see how good I'm feeling and they see the actions that it takes to get there. That's how you spread that beauty to the world, is by being yourself and not allowing anybody else to drag you down to their level. But by being able to take that high road, by being able to call someone out when they're being jealous and being like, look, I don't know why the fuck you're feeling that way anyway. Look at the beautiful, amazing qualities about you because you have so many good things inside of you. Why the hell would you ever want to be me? Yeah, I know I'm awesome, but you're awesome too. And there's nothing wrong with you. So don't be upset with me because you feel in some way inferior while I'm around or some shit. Stop that shit. And yes, I have said similar things like that to people too, and somehow ended up getting along for the rest of the night. Ended up with them wanting to take me home and then having to explain to them that no, I'm straight and not really looking for that. And then they hated me again because, you know, I rejected them. there's, there's a lot of that everywhere you go. And nobody is gonna, it's never gonna be everyone all the time likes you. It's not the way it's gonna be. You're never gonna find a world where everybody in it loves you. There's going to be a lot of people who are throwing hate and shade your way, and that's okay. There's going to be a lot of people doing that, whether you're being you or whether you're being something else. So you might as well be you at the end of the day. Starfish and the elephant. And by the way, this beautiful little cardinal that has been following me around fucking everywhere, and I have 2 of them on my tree now because I got one ornament last year that's a cardinal, and I got another ornament this year that's a cardinal, and then I got my dad's cologne that's a cardinal, and the box that his ashes are in that's a cardinal. Cardinals mean that there is a loved one from the other side that is trying to reach out to you. There could definitely be a lot of support on your side at this time. And they want you to feel that support. They want you to know that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are appreciated. And they are so proud of you for being able to take that high road and for being able to turn your dreams into a reality. Regardless of whether or not you have anybody else cheering for you, your ancestors are cheering for you. You've been able to regenerate over and over again. You've been able to come back to life regardless of what has happened. You've been able to come out of a shallow energy as well, because I feel like a lot of you may have been very blocked off from the world around you and not really wanting to dive into anything too deeply because of fear of what's going to come from diving in. And you have really been able to step into that role and step into that position and dive into those things that you were afraid of for a very long time with stability and strength backing you up. It's time to let go of some of the things that have happened in the past, though, as well. To realize that your passion and your drive and your motivation is backed up by a steely strength that nobody is ever going to be able to knock down. Think about how hard it would be to take an elephant down. This one's missing his tusk and he's still standing there like he's the strongest, most solid, stable obstacle there could ever be. And that's you. Strength and wisdom, stability. All of those things have been cultivated through the hardships that you've had to endure, through the haters that have been around you throughout the beginning, all the way till now of this journey that you've been on. That strength is inside you and you are very capable of being able to stand in your power. So, between messages, if anybody wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. And this is going to be the last message before we take off, unless somebody purchases a question before I'm done with the closeout message, and then I'll do that too. But other than that, this will be the closeout message. Let's see what they have for us. Do 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 do. Do-do-do. So we have real eyes, realize, real lies. Blah, blah, blah. So when you are somebody real, the fake is shown very fully. And you can really see very clearly a lot of the negativity coming your way. You can see a lot of the people around you that are trying to be one thing when you know that they're another. You can also remember back to a time when you might have been wearing masks yourself and not fully comfortable with expressing who you truly are to the world around you. And it might give you a little bit more compassion and understanding for why these people are wearing masks as well. A powerful change in this world starts with you today. It's time to let go of the past, not the people or the love, but the pain and the hurt. Thank you so much for the donations as well. You guys are fucking amazing. Life is what we make it. Focus on the love. You know better than to allow abuse at this point, and others know better than to give it to you. Some have even realized their actions and will truly atone for them by a change in their behavior. For an apology that big, walk is the only thing that will work for you. But they also need to communicate it as well. Their apology needs to be just as loud as their betrayal and their cover-up was. It's time for some people to face the music. Free will on whether or not they choose to do it willingly, or will the universe do it for them. Some have healed enough already, some never will, and others have to learn the hard way. Nothing wrong with that, it just takes patience. Better late than never. So there's definitely some people that are going to be coming back into your life that are going to be apologizing for the things that they've done. They are going to be trying to atone for the ways that they have treated you and the ways that they have behaved. Maybe even the lies that they have told or the betrayals that have happened in this situation. A powerful change in this world starts with you today, because it's going to be up to you to forgive. It's going to be up to you to be able to rise above. It's going to be up to you to be able to step into the power of love instead of the power of fear. The power of trust again. Hurt people hurt people. In darkness I dwelled. The fears overwhelmed, hatred boiled hot inside, my heart was not along for the ride. I locked it up tight, too much pain to fight. It ate at me and pulled me down, in all this misery I would drown. Reborn from all this pain, washed free through cleansing rain, my heart opened a bit more each time, throughout every action and every rhyme. So many hurt people were hurting me. It took some time for me to see that I was hurt too and caused some pain. I fought so hard to maintain. It was time to look in the mirror, pushed past all of the pain and fear, healing what's inside myself, dusting off that inner shelf. Now I'm ready to begin once more. I am ready for an open door. 3/7/22. This is going back to everything we've discussed today about how hurt people, and that's the way it is. When you are hurt, you hurt people too. And this is a poem that I wrote when I realized that I had hurt people too. That my pain, that my anger, that my fear, that my hatred, that my hurt, that my despair bubbled up and out all over everybody that I loved around me. And that happens sometimes, just like it does with everyone else. It is harder to see it, and it is harder to forgive it when it's yourself. Regardless of how hard it's been to forgive anyone else, it's always hardest to do it with yourself. But being able to heal comes with that price that you have to pay, that sacrifice that you have to make. Throwing your fucking pride in the trash and your ego in the trash and realizing that, hey, I'm a fucking human being too. And I have hurt people too. I have caused pain to the world around me in ways too. And I'm ready to change that. But the only way to change that is to accept it, acknowledge it, make amends, apologize where you need to, and express where you feel like you have misstepped or gone wrong. It's crazy how quick life goes sometimes. You don't want it to end before you get the chance. I know you expected me to be around longer and are still accepting what this means. There could even be a point where somebody passed away and you didn't get that chance, and that could be what's fueling you right now to make that move in your life. Know that I'm here still, just in a different way, and you can express it at any time. I live in you, from The Lion King. Make my memory mean something and live your life. You are there still for a reason. Don't give it up. Put it to good use. What is it that you're wanting to do in your life today? What is it that you're wanting to change? Where is it that you're wanting to go? How is it that you're wanting to affect the world? How is it that you're wanting to live your life? And what is it that you really, truly want to do before the time is up? You are breaking cycles from the past down to future generations, long festering karma and karmic wounds that you have carried around and used too. If you came from a family that was mentally and emotionally abusive, for example, you know that you were mentally and emotionally abusive before you learned how to change the way that you reacted to the world around you, right? Because if you don't, then you're part of the problem. Then you're denying it, and then it's coming out in nasty ways. And if you do, don't cover that. Express it. and let people know that, yeah, I've been there too. It doesn't make me an evil person, but you know what sure makes me a good person? Working to heal those things and working to do those things a different way, because I know now that that is not the right way, even if I didn't know before, because that's what I was taught before, was that's the right way. But it wasn't the right way, and I figured that out myself, and I'm ready to make that change, which makes you somebody that is worth loving, somebody that is fucking amazing, somebody that's beautiful. It doesn't make you somebody evil because you're admitting the mistakes you've made in the past. You're also admitting that you decided that wasn't the way you wanted to live your life and you wanted to do something different in it. It's time to let go. Be true to you. Allow yourself to shine bright. Leave behind what you were taught in favor of the new things that you have learned. Like those people that will still stand there and say that beating children is the best way because my parents beat me and look what it did for me. What? You're fucking living on the street as a fucking drug addict, fucking out of your fucking mind, and you don't even know how to fucking live a life because it's been so fucked up. And you don't think that that has something to do with how you were abused as a child? Because I do. No, that's not the right way. They've proved it at this point. There's been so much fucking research on it at this point that it's ridiculous, and you still want to stand there and claim that that's the right way because that's how you were abused as a kid? No. Especially since you're showing the side effects of that abuse every day you live your damn life. No, it wasn't the right way. And there's people who will cling on to it for dear fucking life, to never make a change and to defend those who abused them forever. Or you can decide to say, you abused me and it wasn't right. I still love you, and I know that you didn't know another way to do it, that you were doing the best you could with the tools you had at your disposal, that this is what you were taught, this is what you believed, and this is what you thought was the right way. But I don't have to accept that as my reality, and I'm not going to treat my children the same, or I'm not going to treat people in my life the same. Talking points may help you in some way. Write a sentence and see what follows. It's time to really explore. Stop thinking that curiosity is a bad thing. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but it killed me a long time before it killed the cat. I follow that curiosity. Curiosity isn't a bad thing. Bad things happen regularly. It doesn't even matter if you follow your curiosity, bad things happen regularly. So you might as well follow your curiosity and learn a few things while you're at it. It sometimes leads to bad things, but just as often it can lead to good ones too. Taking calculated risks is a good thing. Be discerning but not fearful. Let that fear give rise to faith and courage. Now is the time for commitment tests. Only the strongest will make it through. You can do this, believe it, and make it so. It's time to rest, time to reflect, time to take care of you, time to really look at things and the way they've played out, the people you've interacted with and how they've treated you, the way that you felt, the way that you have been there. It's time to look at everything and to really dive deeply into it. No longer afraid of what you're going to find, but at peace knowing that you are in a good position. It's time to step on your throne. To know that there is a lot of people around you who look up to you that you may not even know are looking up to you. And it could even be because these people, these same people, have hurt you in whatever way. Think about a mother for a minute and their children when they're breaking free of them and when they're rebelling against them. It's amazing the pain a child can cause a mother. But a mother will never walk away. It's funny how they'll walk away from everybody else but their own kids, right? The Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Ghost, regret. You may even regret making yourself invisible in some sort of situation or removing yourself from some sort of situation. There may be some things that you really need to say to certain people in your life before you do have regrets as well. because there could be key people in your life that may be getting ready to not be here any longer. And it may be time to step up and take the action that you feel like you need to take in these situations to express what needs to be expressed so that all the things can come out into the open and everything can be healed. Fortune meets opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities around you right now to turn things around for the better, to come out on top, to be feeling good about yourself. And once again, curiosity is going to be a big part of that. Following your instincts, following your intuition, not allowing anything to scare you off of the path that you feel like you're meant to be on, and also playing more, enjoying yourself more, and enjoying your life more. Really enjoying the time that you're having with the people around you, being able to be like, okay, this person came into my life, and you know what? I don't know what's coming of this situation, but I'm going to enjoy this situation for what it is while it's here. And letting everything else go. Not worrying so much about what's going to come from the future from it. Not worrying so much about what has happened in the past from it, but really looking at right now in this moment and enjoying what life has to offer. And it's going to bring you a lot of beauty to be able to do so. The bear and the shark. You can definitely smell out those opportunities for changes, shifts, growth. Your instincts are on point right now. You may have been holding back for a long time. You may have taken some time away from you. You may have been hibernating in some way, isolating in some way, pulling your energy back, resting, reflecting, taking care of yourself and the things going on around you and your world. But it is now time to get back out there and to know that when you do, you're not going to be brought down by anything that you're facing. And so that is what I have for today's messages for you guys. I really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you to everybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes on this channel or my other one. You guys really mean the world to me. Your support means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for the donations and the purchases as well. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.